We're on our way to the famous dive site. That's my dive guide, Shahida, or Shah, from Singapore. We're planning our dive with Donna and Brian from the Philippines. The people in charge were a charismatic Spanish couple, Sylvia and Alfonso.
Do like drop. Okay.
Ábreles aquella puerta al frente.
I was staying on a scuba liveaboard named the Solitude 1, cruising the reefs of Palau. It was a documentary expedition based in part upon the fact that phases of the moon affect the energy dynamics of coral reef ecosystems. Our trip was planned around a full moon. A full moon's gravity causes bigger tides. The fish form larger schools as increased currents distribute nutrients. Fish form aggregations in order to spawn. Sharks are everywhere. On this particular day, the moon was its closest to Earth. This is called its perigee, when its gravity is the strongest. Some call a full moon at perigee a supermoon. That night, there was to be a total eclipse of that moon. My story here unfolds in Palau's German Channel dive site, famous for its manta rays. That Wednesday morning, because we were diving from a liveaboard and there early, we had the place to ourselves, 6 of us. The German Channel dive is not in the channel itself, but rather in the area adjoining the channel, a 60-foot deep basin with a sandy bottom. The currents flowing through the channel fill the basin with plankton and fish, which one must swim through to get to the mantas. We found them up on the surface, feeding. You can get close to them when they feed on the surface. You really can't do that when they are down at the bottom getting cleaned by other fish. Here's a decent shot. They eat mainly plankton by channeling food into their mouths. Here comes Brian Christensen. Sometimes they eat tiny fish, which they herd into food balls. We determine they're up in the mass of plankton and fish in front of where Dustin is swimming. We swim closer. It's hard to describe what we saw up there. We had different encounters with the mantas. They were swimming in circles, sending the schools of fish scattering to envelop us divers. We were always looking for the best shot to capture the essence of the mantas. The graceful mantas are newly evolved species with the highest brain to body mass ratio of any fish. They enjoy about the same lifespan as we do and reproduce slowly. Of interest is the fact they are hunted and slaughtered for their gills. And there are larger concerns. The oceans are being decimated. Can we continue to use the oceans as a major source of food when there will soon be 10 billion people worldwide? The world's fisheries are in crisis. We simply must act together to save the ecosystems of our oceans and shallow seas. I'm getting low on air and must start to surface. I now look down on the basin and its creatures as the other divers continue to film. Now look to the right and you'll see Shah holding a spool in her left hand, and it looks like she's flying a kite. She's just deployed a surface marker buoy so the boat can find us. She floats up to our safety stop at 15 feet. That's an alarm on my dive computer. Mitch signals by banging on his tank. The dive is over. Dustin starts to surface. I still see Brian up the little canyon, filming the mantis.